Have you had any recent moments where you felt like you didn't have the energy that you wanted to have to create?
Yeah, you mean my whole career? Since I picked up a camera? Of battling, like, my energy and trying to figure that out. I was at my client's wedding. It was like my first client, and he's like a brother to me. And they asked me to do a wedding video for them. I don't do wedding videos, and I swore on my life that I would never do a wedding video when I became a videographer, because to me it just seemed like a total cop out. But because we had that, like, we had been through so much together, I felt compelled to help them. So I decided, I said yes. And I slept over the night before, and I got up early and didn't eat, and I didn't do my normal like morning stuff, and I was up really late the night before. We just started shooting, like, because it's wedding day, I got to capture everything. I can't miss a moment. So I have to be vigilant, and I have to be present, and I have to be everywhere at all times. And that doesn't leave much time to do like a morning routine, or to do, to even eat, or to do the things that I do to keep myself sane. And we just started shooting, and over the course of the day, we went to go do like the photo shoot, and I was there too doing video and just getting B-roll. And I remember just feeling like hungrier and hungrier, and like a little bit more on edge, and a little bit more stressed, and a little bit more anxious, and a little bit more like tired, all these different mixed feelings. And then, but I just ignored it because I was like, I gotta do this wedding thing. So we come home, I had like maybe like a handful of nuts or something, that's it. And then it's like the wedding's starting. And I'm like getting the shots of all the guys like putting on their suits and, getting ready, and the bride walking out and everything, then the ceremony and the whole thing, and then to the party. And I'm documenting everything, right? And it's a lot of fun, but over the course of the day, I noticed like things are starting to feel worse and worse and worse and worse. Dinner was late. We didn't eat dinner till 11 o'clock at night. So I had gone the entire day without eating, and I didn't get to do the stuff that I normally do to take care of myself. And then I just felt myself like crashing, like really bad. But like there were so many people that I wanted to hang out with, and people who I haven't seen in a long time, and I still got to get every moment, and the party's still going. And the next day, I had told my friend that I would film his, like, he calls it a master moon, which is like a mastermind and a honeymoon mixed together. And I made that obligation, like, and in the morning, he started, and I started to film, and my body just shut down. I like immediately got sick. My stomach was on fire. I had zero energy. I started like sneezing like crazy. Like my immune system was just shot. And I just told my friend, I was like, look, I can't do this. Like, I don't feel well. And that's not even a big, like, I did nothing crazy, except I like fasted for a day and stayed up late. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't do any of that stuff. And yet my body can't even handle being normal activity. So yeah, that's an example of when energy affected my business or my life or my what I love to do.
How did it make you feel, like deciding that you needed to talk to him that morning? Like, what was the internal struggle that morning when you woke up and felt that, and then having to tell him that you can't do it at 23 or 24 years old?
I mean, it's a mix of, what I felt was a mix of shame and a mix of like frustration, like almost like victimhood, like, oh, woe is me, like, why is this happening? And an anger of being like, why can everyone else do this stuff? And I just have to deal with all these problems.
Is that fair?
I think fairness is subjective. I could say that it's not fair, but that doesn't help me. So I could sit here and say, oh, whoa, like, my life is so hard, or I have so many challenges, or why does everyone else seem to have it so easy? But everyone's fighting a battle that you don't know about. And that's what I learned through doing what I do. Hearing people's stories, asking those hard questions, digging into what motivates them and what's driving them. Like, there's always a demon. It's just no one's talking about it. And so I choose to just be grateful about it, because it's made me a better person. It's made me more regimented. It's made me more organized. It's made me more empathetic. It's made me stronger mentally, emotionally, physically. And there are people who have things that are a lot worse. You know, I don't have any like terminal disease. I'm not impoverished. I don't have access. It's not like I'm limited to access of resources. So no, I don't feel that it's unfair. I just feel like this is the challenge that I have to overcome, to show people that doesn't matter what's going on in your life, you can still do what's important to you.
When you think back to when you were losing this battle, if there are people watching this and they're in that moment where they don't have the resolve that you have and they haven't built the resilience or the consistency that you have, if you were talking to yourself in the darker moments of that time, what would you say?
You have a choice. And I did tell myself this. I told myself a couple things. It's like, number one, I will figure this out. And if I don't, I will die trying. Number two, you have a choice. You can either choose to live in suffering and create an identity around that, or you can choose to live in a state of action and responsibility. What's real to you will be real to you. And what I mean by when I say that is, as soon as you accept something and agree with it, then it's real. And someone could argue like, hey Kyle, like that's a nice thing to say, but you can't just like wish away a real problem like that. And I'm not telling people to do that, but instead of saying this is gonna ruin my life, you can say, this is what's gonna create a solid foundation for the rest of my existence on this planet. This is what's gonna build integrity. This is what's gonna build robustness. This is what's gonna build strength. And I would also tell that person that you can't do anything by yourself. As strong and as like good-willed and ambitious and smart and intelligent that you may be, no one does anything on their own. No one should do anything on their own. It's just not gonna work out. And it's gonna be way easier, way more fun, and things are gonna happen way quicker if you ask for help.